So I had another creamer thief.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So in my newest job, once again, they
Your
don't
sixth
provide...
one this year.
Again, just all employers provide creamer.
Yep. Don't provide creamer, or coffee for that matter.
Oh, that's ghetto.
And so,
That's
of course,
Tired workforce.
I'm bringing my own K-cups and creamer.
Oh.
And I really don't have to go into the office a whole lot. I only have to go in about 1 to 2 days a week. So I brought a giant jug of my sweet cream creamer because it's 5 years later from the first creamer thief, but I'm still on my sweet cream. And once again, I'm noticing it's very light. And considering I only go in 1 to 2 days a week, and I probably only drink 1 cup while there because I drink one on the way in. I'm like,
would you whisper as if that's a problem?
I know,
Shame
right?
you for coffee consumption. We're your people.
I don't feel like I need more than 2, if you know what I mean. Y'all know me. I'm hyper.
You're good.
Yeah.
So I noticed once again, it's very, very light. And I happen to be talking to a leader in the company, and I'm telling him this because I also had a white noise machine on the handle of my door of my office so that when I was having private conversations, I could turn on the white noise machine.
Oh my God.
And it went missing.
Like a babe.
I know, like you're putting a baby to sleep. I've never heard of that as a way
actually,
to like break up the...
All of us had a white noise machine.
Oh my gosh, that's clever.
There's like therapists and whatnot.
No, I
in
get
the same
it.
hallway.
I get it.
So
I never thought about using that for that.
That's why we did it. So
you get used.
It would just put me to sleep because that's what I used to go to sleep.
It's not that bad. It's
I
just
can't
like
use it to go. I can't use it to go to sleep.
Really?
I can't use it. No,
I have 2 going.
No. I've done girls.
I'm in a wind tunnel.
I've done girls trips with other friends, not you, who have. That was not aggressive.
I know, not you. She points at me.
Not you, but I have friends, and I'm all
so we
fine
could
and
never
good.
share a room.
No,
See?
but at
good.
night, and all of a sudden, all's fine and good. You know, and I brush my teeth, and I hear the sound, and I'm, thank you, and I'm like, what's that? And I got to sleep with my white noise machine.
Oh, bitch! No, you don't.
Like,
you're like,
and I can't, and then I'm up, and I don't know what to do at that point. And,
damn!
Anyway, sorry,
she derailed your No, but it is.
So
not you.
Clever.
The company provided me with a white noise machine. It was taken from my door. I purchased mine, not with my own money. Hold on.
Okay.
With my company card.
Okay.
I purchased another one.
Like a hanging one?
Yeah, it hangs off my doorknob.
Yeah.
It's very cool. They're on Amazon. They're on Amazon. They're $16, and they're rechargeable. So you just plug
and
it
I'm
in.
just trying to visualize it.
Yeah.
It's
probably
like a little
circle.
Yeah, it's really cute. Anyway, it also
He's showing you
disappeared.
what a circle looks like.
finally,
It's a circle. I put my hands together. It's a circle.
Oh my God, these are so cute.
at this point, I was like, well, fuck it. I have now purchased 2 of these freaking things.
Man.
So I'm going to purchase my own. So I purchased my own white noise machine, and it too got stolen. So I'm telling this leader in the company, look, this is now the 3rd white noise machine that has disappeared off my fucking door. And I'm pissed at this point because the last one I purchased with my own money, and on the very back in a hidden spot, I wrote my initials because I was like, I'm going to fucking
put an
find
air
it.
tag on it.
I still don't know who
or a ring. You need a ring cam purchase.
I know, right?
Okay,
I
for
still
real.
don't
And then
know.
they stole
And
that.
I think people think,
Put the hand in front.
For real.
I think people think, well, she's not here all the time. I'll just borrow it, but then they never put it back.
It's probably.
Oh, that's sweet of you to think.
I'm assuming good intentions. So I'm venting to him how frustrated I am. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I said, and it's with my coffee creamer. I said, the shit's half gone. I just brought that fucker in. I was like, and I'm like getting fired up because I'm like, I can't even come into the office and enjoy a cup of coffee because my creamer's gone. And he goes, oh, well, that's been me. I said, what? He said, oh, that's been using your creamer. He's like, I figured you wouldn't mind.
Well, I do mine, and you owe me $7.
And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, it isn't a huge deal, but like boundaries, motherfucker. So then,
but did you feel because he's a leader? Did you feel like you needed to like downplay it, or were you kind of like?
I was like, well, cool. You can bring it next time, is what I said to him.
Jamie.
Well,
no,
I know. I should have been a bear bitch, but
yes,
I was thinking like,
cool, like, no, it is actually a big deal.
Venmo.
I mean, really, you stole my property.
Good.
Put out your Venmo.
I'm like, I know it's really good, you jackass. Anyway, so then. The very next day, I'm working from home. He sends me a fucking video of him using my creamer.
Like he
I
does
shit you not.
Like an inside
I will
joke.
save it and post it on our Instagram.
Do you want me to kill him?
Like
I'm not even
like,
kidding.
Is this guy kidding me?
No.
Was he laughing? Or was it silent?
because
He goes,
so you were
I think
sweet.
I think he goes, nice.
You were sweet as cream then. When he was like, oh, is that a problem? Well, no, bring the next one. And now look at this. Look
Now
how
we
he's
think
going to
you're
rub your
buddies.
shit in your face.
Yeah, he just run all over me.
Next one, then you're going to get a video of him with your noise machines, all three of them dangled all around his neck like pearls while he's chugging your creamer. That's the next video you're going to get.
Like,
I'm like, this is what happens
like
when you're
Flava
too
Flav,
fucking
the clock,
nice.
the clock,
They're noise machines, you know?
But so the Jamie I know, I don't think I know you as well, because unless you're about to tell us that you took a video of yourself slashing his tires, then I don't know you as well as I thought I did a few minutes ago.
No, like I said, I ride or die for my friends. I don't ride or die.
All right, we're gonna judge Leigh
for myself.
You and me. We got evidence right here.
Like, now, if you
damn.
told me he stole one of your creamers, I would show up into his house in the middle of the
We'll go
night.
get him.
See, this like I'm kind of having epiphany and my mind is fucked at the same time because you two are so crazy online. Like you're very street justice online. Yeah, that's what I mean. But your yes faces and the exact opposite in person. Whereas me, I don't give a fuck online. You know, like I at all.
Move on,
But I am street as fuck in person.
Yeah, that's a good
I mean, it is like you see this like a piece of like this is
I'm seeing exactly what
Maybe
you're
why
saying.
we vibe so well.
Oh, I guess it's
We're
all
all
about
straight as
balance.
fuck.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like
Just in different
angry
ways.
listening to this creamer story.
So
that would never
you are
have
in real
happened.
life going to slash the tires. I will post
No,
a video online of it, and then they will have to listen to this podcast in court as evidence. And that's fine.
Yeah. But I don't slash tires. I would tell that motherfucker to his face. I do that does piss me off. That is my creamer, and I consider that theft. No one ever has to guess where they stand with me. Yeah. Like fuck you. I don't do the pleasantry bullshit like that very well. I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm respectful and shit. But if something pisses me off, I'm gonna be like, actually, you've really pissed me off. Yeah. I brought that creamer on purpose because I like it. It's mine.
My name on the top, Jamie Jackson.
Yeah, it's not community creamer. Mm-hmm. It's not community. That's what I say. Well, bitch, it ain't community creamer, is it? You know,
that's
like you can roll in a little sugar, you know, but come on, man.
That's a good intro story,
Boundaries.
Fucking send me
I'm
a
so
video
mad.
using it.
I
I'll
can't
show
wait
y'all it.
Audacious.
That video that's going
Audacious.
on our Insta.
Yes,
HR Besties
audacious.
Pod on Insta.
I mean, this was like a month ago. This wasn't that long ago.
What else?
Yeah.
What else is he stealing?
Lord only knows.
I guarantee you, he's got those
Investigation.
white noise.
I mean, he's sending you evidence. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well,
He thinks you're friends.
We're not.
Okay. Now you're not.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. In breaking news, leading scientists worldwide are conducting experiments to determine if Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. However, it appears the study was inconclusive, as the scientists couldn't help but eat all the Reese's. Because when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's. Find Reese's now at a store near you.
Look, Bumble knows you're exhausted by dating. All the, must not take yourself too seriously, and 6'1" since that matters, and what do I even say other than, hey? Well, that's why they're introducing an all-new Bumble, with exciting features to make compatibility easier, starting the chat better, and dating safer. They've changed, so you don't have to. Download the new Bumble now.
all right. Well, thanks for joining our meeting today. I'd like to do just a quick run through of the agenda. We are going to do some cringe corporate speak, and I am going to provide today's crazy cringe ick line there. And then we are going to transition into our hot topic, which is all about work travel. Everything about the work travel, spending the time away, the TNL, like anything and everything work travels, right? And then per usual, we will have some questions and comments before we close with that hard stop.
Sounds like a good agenda.
It does, right?
It's what we use every time, but I like it.
does.
It makes me feel good, comfortable.
Yeah, it's like a little weighted blanket.
You always know where you stand with us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Fuck yeah. Well, me and you at least. I don't know about
us.
Jamie at the office creamer. Gee whiz. I'm so pissed. Okay, all right. Cringe corporate speak today. The phrase that I would like to bring forward is the phrase, let's bang it out.
Oh,
I know, right? Take me out to dinner first before we do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Buy me
You gotta wine and dine this up.
Buy me a big ass bottle of creamer with a bow on it, and then we'll do what we may with
Turn
it.
those noise machines on.
not with this leader.
But let's bang it out.
Well, that reminds me of the Bang Bus.
What's that?
I knew she would know.
Oh,
Google.
I don't know
Google
Bang
my
Bus.
gosh.
Oh, you don't
You don't know
either.
what the Bang Bus is
Oh,
either?
dear.
I don't know what the bang bus is. That's a sentence I didn't think I would say in
Oh,
a
my
corporate
gosh.
meet.
Oh, Ashley's
live
Googling
action
it. Yeah.
Googling.
Just like Fleshlight.
Is it just a porn channel? What? I think all this. One of the Google results is Bang Bros. A long time ago in a bang bus, far, far away.
Yeah.
And the away part of that. I don't want to.
They used to bang in a bus.
Who?
The Bang Bros.
Well, on here it gives some. Assume they're not their real names. What? Did you watch this? Okay, I won't make you answer that. Leigh and I clearly didn't.
Yeah, no, I don't feel this is mainstream, this one.
No,
I think the Fleshlight is. I don't think come on. Bang Bus is a thing. Please don't DM me.
Yeah,
I get enough stuff, but I don't.
real quiet when I was like, "Have you watched that?" Like,
I know. Okay,
how would I know about it?
I know.
no, I did not
Oh
know
my
what
gosh!
the Bang
all right.
Bus says. I'm good, but I can see leaders saying that. Like, let's put this on the Bang Bus, and like
Do they say that?
well, no, I can see that.
I was like,
I've
wait,
not
who?
heard that.
What?
No, but I will now.
I have heard. Let's
bang it
bang it
out.
out, and
Let's
then I've
bang it
had
out.
other females come that are like, "Is that appropriate?" I'm like, "It's not appropriate."
no,
and
it's not
we'll,
appropriate.
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
No.
Unless he's hot, but whatever.
bang it out. And you're like,
Yeah, but that one is one of those kind of ick.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is like the
I
definition
don't want
of
to think
cringe
about
there.
banging anything out.
Yeah,
well,
let's
there's
just
the
bang it out.
jarring, like,
Yeah, you know.
yeah.
let's
Let's just work on it.
yeah, yes.
Let's knock it out, maybe.
Very recently, I went to my father's retirement party, and he retired after he started work at PNC Bank 45 years ago.
Oh, shout
And
out.
He had started literally in the mailroom working nights, basically, or check room working nights. But anyway, they were like, let's finish it off by saying, let's get to work. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he always ended his meetings and he said, let's get to work. And I was very delighted that my dad's retirement party, nobody said he finished things by saying,
Oh
like,
my God.
yeah. So the point is, so
goodness.
from Papa manager method, you then let's get to work is a perfectly accessible
Yes.
that will end you not in HR's office. Just say, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had to counsel anybody on that though.
I have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't, but I've definitely heard it, and I'm like, no,
yeah.
hard stop.
Yeah.
But so I feel like sometimes HR, you just have that like, visceral. I mean, how many times in your
Exactly.
career have you heard things and you just
Oh
like,
yeah, it's too
Yeah,
many.
like piggybacking, where it's like you just
Yeah.
visualize, you know, somebody on top of Steve, just piggybacking Steve, you know, and it's not. I know. Well, Steve is a
Brenda in
dick,
accounting.
but yeah. I mean, you know, and it just kind of gives you that visual there, you know. So I don't know. People love to like infuse just a little razzle dazzle sex in the workplace, don't
Yeah.
they? There are some, you know what I mean. You know, some people just kind of.
attention.
Or in a podcast, am I?
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, but we're shining a light to it.
We're talking about it. We're talking about it. So
Say
that's
that.
fine.
Say this, not
Oh,
that.
yes.
Please,
Do as do as we say, not as we do. Yeah. And so to that point, our hot topic for the day is work travel. Doing the work travel, being on the work travel, being affected by the work travel, saving those receipts for the work travel, getting fights on work travel. I mean, whatever the case may be. All things work travel.
Yes. Have you had to travel a lot for work? You guys?
I have. I mean, I've been somewhat fortunate that I most of my jobs I've had to travel here and there, but it's not been very frequent per se.
Yeah, no, I've had to travel a lot.
Leigh's had to travel
Yeah.
in her roles.
Which I enjoy, you know, because I'm just a slut for culture and points, you know. So
Wait,
I like being out there.
I just saw that today. What's it like? Hobophiliac? Hodophilia. I think it's hodophilia, the love of travel.
Really?
Hodophilia, let's say. I think it's hodophilia. Yeah.
And then watch, that's really something really bad.
Yeah.
I know, now she's
Like
going to reach for her
fucking a
phone.
tree or
I
something.
know, because people are going to go use that in the
Fucking on a
workplace. I'm a hodophiliac, you
I
know?
heard it on HR Bestie. Oh my God. Yeah, hodophile. The hodophile.
Okay.
Hopefully it's
Okay.
not pronounced hodophile. Hodophile or hodophile. I don't know which one that is.
The travel lover.
Yeah, it's someone who likes to travel.
Yeah.
I literally just saw that for the first time too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd say it's easy for me to travel in the sense that, you know, I'm a introverted only child. So like, I don't mind being on I think my longest was an 18-hour flight. You know what I mean? So to me, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, ooh, time for myself.
Yeah.
More time for myself. Oh my gosh, this is great. Like, let me just be in my crazy mind about it. But what does piss me off about the travel is sometimes the lack of recognition from managers or people above that perhaps they're traveling less now in their careers, or they can flat out choose not to travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, those types. But they forget about the exhaustion from travel, the length of time of travel, and they don't.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at my mind. They don't count that as work time.
Yeah.
That really pisses me off, especially when you could have 2 full days more plus in the week
plus
of
the
just the travel time.
Yeah, especially if you're flying internationally. My God. Like, and just adjusting to the time changes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much more than, oh, you were so-and-so in Bangkok for 5 days. Like, I might have been there for 5 days, but
Oh my God. I'm awful with like time changes. And so, like, I mean, when we lived in Sydney, I used to have to come back and forth to the US, and I was like coach, because I was there for like a lot of organizations at that point would have an upgrade to premium economy or business class. That was not happening. So I would like coach back and forth to come, and I would be so wrecked. Or like, I remember like flying other times, internationally, and like, I didn't bring like any type of like sleep aid or things like that. And I'd be up all night on the flight. Also, I get excited about watching movies. And so I'd be like
movie time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Oh my God, Bridesmaids. Like, now where's Prada? My go-to. But like, part of it with work travel, especially is one, the expectation of it. And sometimes people, it's like, in the interview process, like, you really got to talk about like what the expectation is on that. Because like Leigh recently had talked about, people like traveling your first week of work, or like having those expectations and what that's like, because sometimes it can be really hard. It can be really hard, expensive, especially if people have things like from an exhaustion standpoint, or you have kids, pets, like all of the logistics of that,
right.
that a lot of people in leadership roles don't always have. And when you don't understand what that's like, your employees frequently feel like they can't talk about that, and they just have to, flurry around, make it all work, Mary Poppins that shit up, and then show up, happy as a clam to their work travel. And it's a real stressor.
It is a real stressor.
Yeah. And I think, I had a boss once say to me, because I really was against traveling when my boys were younger. I didn't want to be away from them when they were younger. Now that they're older, it's not, so much an issue, but I had a boss say to me, like, I don't want to encourage you to go on these trips because I know you don't want to. And she's like, I'm always in my head almost discounting you because I know that you don't want to go on these trips. And I'm like, don't speak for me. At least ask.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Because there's not necessarily, granted, I'm lucky enough that I do have a support system, close to me, but some people aren't as lucky if they have, they're an only parent, or, I have a shit ton of animals too, like who are going to watch my animals. And like, there's just so much more to it than me just hopping on a flight and, going to London or something for business.
Yeah. What's really interesting is you were talking about the job description, right? Like, you just kind of mentioned something about the job description, but, I saw research or heard of research somewhere where it's like, hey, you really want to be as accurate as possible about how much percentage of travel is actually required because it can discount and really bias so many different populations, like females, for example.
Yeah.
You put, 50% travel when really it's 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
people
nowadays.
are like 50, like how am I, I'm not even applying.
Yeah, they're not even going to apply. You know what I mean? So, it's a real important thing to get as accurate as possible there, so you don't discount, certain populations.
Well, in aside from like all the aspects of work travel generally, but please can we talk about travel policies?
Oh my God, yes.
And the expectations. Like I talked earlier about my girls' trip where I'm sharing a room with my girlfriends. Like, okay, fair enough. I might do that if we're going somewhere and I'm trying to be mindful of my Airbnb, things like that. Let me tell you, people do not do sharing a room ever. If you can't afford to have people have their own room and their own bathroom. Like their own hotel room, just dedicated hotel room. Please do not send them. Please do not send them on work.
So many businesses do that, or like schools, like education does that. They, buddy up the teachers, or I mean, to me that is
from
rude.
an HR standpoint. I'm like, oh my God, no.
Weird. It's weird. I mean,
It's
talking about the noise. Like one of my girlfriends went on an incentive trip with work, like a reward having brought significant revenue to the company. They made them buddy up on this very nice trip in rooms, and she's like, literally, I was like, she's like, and she was like, I have my own. Like everybody has their own habits. And
everyone has their own. Like
she's like, I was so stressed. She's like, I almost like canceled at the last minute.
Yeah.
No, I remember being asked by that once on like a work travel thing, and from a very large organization, and they're like, we had rooms, and this assistant had emailed like 7 of us. I have no idea. I can't remember if we were all female, but it was like, we were short on rooms. So we're going to ask, please have volunteers to double up. Otherwise, we may have to assign people. I remember I called an old boss of mine. I was like, the fuck is this shit? Like, what do you say? And she was like my mentor.
Gosh.
And she like,
what did she say?
Fuck that. She was like, no. I was like, I want to write. She was like, I'm not comfortable with that. And I did. I said, I'm not comfortable with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I'm not comfortable with that.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
double
gosh,
up.
That's bizarre.
Whoopsie daisy.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
Double up.
Whoopsies. Otherwise, you're going to get volunteers, or else you're going to like an airline.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh, my God.
My God.
Oh my God, it's my nightmare.
Like now, will I share a room with my work bestie when we planned our own trip together?
I cuddled it. I got in bed with you this morning. We were talking. Like,
that's different.
But at nighttime, I need to have my own room, my own.
Yeah.
But like that's our fun time that we planned, and we're, but no, not for work. Absolutely not.
No, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is not for me.
Hey besties, I was so excited AG1 partnered with us because I've been feeling really run down. It may be a combo of the end of the school year and all my children's events, but I wanted to support my immune health. I was able to do that with AG1. That's because AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. Not only did I replace my multivitamin with AG1, but I love that every scoop also contains vitamin C and zinc to support my immune health. I recommend AG1 to all my family and friends because it's formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards. I know I've not mentioned this before, but my husband also has started drinking AG1. He's been stealing mine. And he always tells me he feels like he's actually getting the nutrients his body craves. I've added AG1 in with my morning routine. I make my iced coffee and my AG1, and it makes me feel like I'm at least starting the morning off right. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. That's why I'm excited to welcome them as a partner. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packets with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/HRBesties. That's drinkag1.com/HRBesties. Check it out.
I love Notion because it helps me be organized and it's really easy to use. I use it for my to-do lists and keeping track of everything on my plate. Notion is a place where any team can write, plan, organize, and rediscover the joy of play. I started using it to just make lists to start. What I needed to do, what I'm working on, and what I've done. I can add documents in there so I can access them, and even use Notion's built-in AI to make it even simpler. If you need to keep track of your work or your life, try Notion. For to-do lists, meeting notes with automatically generated action items. If you can think it, you can make it. Now, if you're thinking, okay, I want to try, but I'm on a budget, we've got you. Try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/HRBesties. That's all lowercase letters. Notion.com/HRBesties. And start turning ideas into action. And when you use our link, you're supporting our show. Notion.com/HRBesties.
And expenses, like corporate cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like making people advance payments.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Like,
is
I
that
think
tacky.
I'm personally a fan. I'm curious about y'all. I'm a fan of having an option for corporate card because, like, I know people in particular like only have a debit card for whatever reason. They only have a debit card. They do not have a credit card, and then only having a debit card can make it more challenging to book things like the hotel or all that stuff. And so have a corporate card as an option or book it directly for someone. Sometimes people want, though, the points for themselves personally. And so I'm also a fan of like, okay, all the stress that travel can lead. Give people some of those choices.
A little perk.
Yeah. What do you think?
That's really what it is. That's what I think it is. Let people keep the points. I mean,
why not? You're already forcing them to go to Iowa.
I know, right? Oh gosh, shout out Iowa.
Glad you didn't say-
Shout out to I was in Iowa.
Oh no,
I like Iowa though.
no, I'm just saying
No, I've
like
never been.
a really benign place.
Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark.
Like
with-
not Paris.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not New York City or something.
I saw a TikTok of a girl entering her St. Louis, Missouri hotel room, and she's like walking in, and it's like miracles happen once, and then she opens the curtains, and it's all just like highway.
Yeah.
Like
That's funny.
you know,
Right,
it's
right.
not.
That's
it
because
can-
that's exactly the room you get put into.
Well,
on
yeah,
travel,
of
especially when you're all
course.
excited about
Like-
it. Then you're like,
yeah,
sad
it's like
face.
you're in the Hampton Inn in St. Louis, Missouri, with a
Totally.
view of the highway. You know?
You're so right.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as glamorous as I think I thought it was.
No.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the TNL and the travel policies have always
What's
been
TNL stand for? What's the L?
travel and leisure.
Oh, travel. What's the leisure?
I don't know.
Okay, I was going to say. I
Yeah,
don't know.
what the fuck are we
It's just
leisuring
some
on?
old
That sounds fun.
acronym,
Okay,
that a lot of people use.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Hell if I know. I didn't invent it.
Is that Travel and Leisure magazine?
Yeah.
I like that magazine.
But TNL policies or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I have experienced in my career is that paying attention to those things, taking feedback, especially from your sales team, shout out sales team, making changes each year, like doing some lovin's there, updating that mileage. I mean, all of those things make
that's a
the
good one.
biggest
I've seen-
difference. It's like having an ice machine at work or free coffee. I mean, it's one of those like things where people are like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much,
Right.
especially for those road warriors.
The daily limit, though, even like especially now with you know
Oh
the
my
price
God.
of everything, like it was
being in
$50 a
tune to
day,
that,
now it's
Yeah.
$70
Yeah.
a day. Like that's a huge difference, and so
making those adjustments matters.
I've been lucky and fortunate enough that in the companies that I've worked with in the last, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years, I've been worked very closely with finance. And so I'm like, hey, here's the feedback that I've received.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? That's actually a really fair point. I'm going to run it up the chain. We'll get approval and we'll update the policy. And so, but it's truly listening to those that are traveling, because I might not be as much as, like, for instance, the sales team that are those road warriors. And so just truly listening to their feedback and what is working and what isn't working.
Yeah, incorporating it.
For your peoples.
That's one of those like quick, easy wins from an HR perspective.
Well, I posted a video on this recently that when I was 23 and I was, I did a good job stalking CFOs and scheduling appointments. So I got promoted to travel around and meet with heads of HR across US and Canada. And in my schedule would be like, I'd literally be like Jackson, Mississippi on Monday, Toronto on Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. But so I had my territory, which was near where my parents lived in Louisville, Kentucky. And this was a time my mom had leukemia, and so she was in the hospital. And so I would come and visit her. And my company had a policy that if you were traveling and instead of staying at a hotel, you stayed with friends or family, then in addition to your daily limit, you could spend up to like $100 extra on a meal for that person that was hosting you and expense it.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I remember,
I've never heard anything like that.
It was amazing. It was great. And it literally saved money because I stayed at my parents' house. And so I had, been with my mom, left and went to Rafferty's, shout out Rafferty's in Louisville, Kentucky. And I said, I didn't eat out a ton growing up. And so eating out was I have very core memories of that. And so the pleasure of asking my dad, what do you want? Oh, the cowboy sirloin. Getting this.
Yeah.
And later, as my mom came out of the hospital and was home, the same policy, I would go to Rafferty's, pick it up, sign for it with my car and come home and deliver it. And it brought me such a sense of pride in my rental car with my big old Hertz never lost, remote control thing on it. But my parents, it was so amazing. And my parents were so proud of me for having this,
this big girl job.
Yeah, but it was expensive. But it was but so a policy like that. So when I posted, multiple people were like, "Oh, I've never heard anything like that."
I haven't either. That's
I'm going to explore. Do you have the policy language? I'm like, no, I don't have the handbook.
Not anymore.
From 2004. But ChatGPT can provide that to you very readily, I'm sure. But things like that, especially that literally you'll end up saving money. And some people will, and the issue is there are leaders that would never conceptualize, or they might even scoff and make fun of that store. Oh yeah, Rafferty's. Why aren't you whatever?
Rafferty's was really good.
I love Rafferty's, but
are they still around? Side note, I don't think so.
The one I used to go to is not now. It's something else. But there is a huge level of pride that the huge population at work has that senior leaders may not understand. And so I think just thinking about in some of those policies.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the frustrating things about the travel, of course, is after the travel, what happens. And all of these different policies on receipts, any receipt over $5. Are you kidding? You can't trust your employee's judgment only to $5. See, that's a reflection of trust and respect, my opinion. Right. I mean, come on, right?
Speaks volumes of the company culture.
It sure does, So all of these kind of, the rules around the expenses and what you have to prove and whatever. And some things are tax and blah, 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 things you have to show. But there's other things also. You don't have to get command control on that.
I know. I was talking to someone recently and they were talking about this and they're like, I lost the receipt. It was for $18. I had to get an affidavit signed. That means you have to get it notarized. And he's like, I have to go. And he's like, I had to find a notary.
Are you serious?
Totally. And I was like, that is so ridiculous. And it's entirely possible. Some tax person can say, there's for the company, you have to have it. I don't know about that, but I completely agree. And the delay in paying expenses. Yeah. I've been in that situation where the problem is when people have expenses, they're not being reimbursed. Yeah. And then people are gaslit for when they ask about expenses and then they're you keep asking about this reimbursement. You're like, because I'm floating the company. Yeah. I think that's really inappropriate on those levels, those delays.
You really should make it as easy as possible for your people to represent you with your customers. That's what you want, right? Yeah. I mean, and with your teams, wherever they may be.
And concise policy.
Come on.
That is open to flexibility too, though. And feedback from your people.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the employee experience for a lot of employees, you know?
And I'm not a big person on we talk about seniority or acting like anybody else is better than anybody at work. But I have seen policies that will say, if you're on a big group dinner, have the senior most person expense that. And I think that's appropriate.
Yes.
Also for that, thinking about that the wait staff and that's working, make their life easier as well. And your internal expense team, they don't need 6 expense reports. So, so do that, make it super easy for that person. But also sometimes you see limits don't tip over 15% or don't tip over, tip that. And and I know people that are I'm a
20% girl.
Yeah. It's just
I just break that rule.
I have.
Fire me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nicer tipper or whatever.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. But for real though. But also I've seen the extreme opposite from leadership, from those execs. No. I worked at a place.
Yeah, but that's okay if you're at that dinner.
No, hold on though. I wasn't talking about a dinner. I'm talking about this man. No.
Oh, okay.
This man took a PJ.
took a what?
PJ, a private jet.
Oh, I heard something.
I
took
did
a
too.
PJ.
Alrighty.
Places like, yeah.
Dang.
And so he was, you know,
Living
because
high
he
on
was
the
the
hog.
CEO, he could take a PJ and expense it. But God forbid, you know, I have my 89 cents Buc-ee's soda that isn't $1. You know what I'm like?
32 ounces. You can't beat that.
And the worst part is everyone's aware of the PJ.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Have you ever been on a
Fuck no.
Have you?
No.
No, same. One of my friends was
We need
recently,
to.
and she was like texting us, and she's like, "Is it so corny if I take a picture?"
No,
and we're like, "No."
absolutely.
Everybody
She's
else
like, "I'm gonna-
does and puts it online. Come on.
Right.
No.
But she like took it. She's like, "Oh my god!" Of course, this guy like turned around right as I was like trying to do it, and I was laughing. I'm like,
He knows.
Like, of course you have.
Yeah.
Like,
She should have asked him to
No,
take it.
exactly. I was
That's
like,
part
he
of his
should have
job.
offered to
Yeah,
take
that's
it
part of
like
his
that.
job as a private jet person.
No, but it's also the standards too, right? Like that you have to hold every employee to the policy standards.
Yeah.
You should, you know, Mr. CEO should not be getting the PJ, and then, you know, me sitting in Spirit Airlines flight
God.
to, you know, wherever.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, lucky to get on the plane.
I know, right? Lucky they didn't make you just walk there.
Sorry, canceled.
Oh, damn. Who doesn't love some work travel and all the drama?
Oh my
See, we also need an episode just the drama that happens on work travel, because I got a lot of those. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, word, yes.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different things people get into. You know what I mean? Had a lot of those write-ups before, you know? Ooh,
yeah.
people being bad when the cat's away, you know, the mice start playing and all of that.
But it still gets back to us.
I know. And it is endlessly entertaining. So we appreciate you all being people.
Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found ZBiotics. Their probiotic was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that is to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. This is a proactive solution that wards off feeling miserable the next day instead of a reactive approach like drinking electrolytes or eating greasy food. Admittedly, I was skeptical about ZBiotics, but then while hanging out with my HR besties in San Antonio, I gave it a shot. And now that I've tried it a few times, I know it actually works. Enhance your mornings with ZBiotics. Go to zbiotics.com/HRBesties to get 15% off your first order when you use HR Besties at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with 100% money back guaranteed. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/HRBesties and use code HRBesties at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times.
Hello, besties. Things are heating up. That's right. We're moving into summer, and you know what that means. That means goodbye warm weather clothes and hello cute summer attire. At least that's what it means for me. Well, luckily I found Quince, and now I've got all sorts of cute pieces to get me through the summer. Got a couple cute t-shirts. I've got these really adorable silk scrunchies, all bougie, I know. But get this, the best part about Quince is all of their items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. That's right. I'm talking cute linen dresses, blouses, and shorts from $30, washable silk tops, timeless gold jewelry, and so much more. So get warm weather ready with Quince. Go to quince.com/HRBesties for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/HRBesties to get free shipping. And 365-day returns. Quince.com/HRBesties. Enjoy. On that note, should we transition into some questions and comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, we good with that? Any questions or comments before we close this meeting?
What was like a memorable, like good memorable work trip that you had?
You know, I typically really do enjoy my work trips. I pretty much always have, you know. So, but my favorite part of a work trip is when the host, right, wherever we're going or I'm going, they want to show off the town, or they want to show off, you know, a certain delicacy or meal or whatever. I love just the downtime of a long dinner. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I always enjoy that, like just the, you know, getting to know people genuinely, like over wine and just, you know, just chatting, just talking. I love that, like very genuinely love that. That's my bag. I love kind of, if I can, you know, interweaving some sort of team event or, you know, something to where like we can go out or I can go out, like if I'm visiting, because I like to really, I love to see the neighborhood of where a facility is. I like to see how people are living. I like to get like all the context. I want to understand the politics or the education. Like I get all cerebral, of course, but I want to really get it right, so I can just make better decisions from where I sit, you know, to support that site and that team. So anytime I can get out and be able to do that, I freaking love that. You know?
I think for me in my 30s and now 40, I just enjoy like any trip that I can end the night with room service watching my shows without
you like the
interruptions of children's.
decompression.
Yeah, it's
I like
A
having
long
that.
time.
Yeah. Because I don't really, and I love my children,
Of course.
but you know, just like watching your shows and eating a fat, expensive burger, room service burger,
$50 burger.
But in my 20s, one of my most memorable trips is I was meeting with Blue Cross Blue Shield in Chattanooga. That's where they're based out of. And we were hoping to, it was actually when I was with Tractor Supply. So I was I've been promoted. And so I was going down there to hope for a
Humble
brokerage.
brag.
A lot. I was promoted a lot, but I was able to go down there with our head of benefits to broker a deal to hopefully sign them as our premier healthcare provider. And my best friend lived there. So I, you know, just like being able to be in her city with her and like still do big girl job stuff. I mean, this is my 20s, you know?
Oh yeah. That's a big
But that
deal.
was my most memorable because, you know, I don't know. It's just like having your best friend and then like being on a business trip.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. What about you?
I did a few trips to Vegas with a prior job, including when I was in Australia. I came and flew to Vegas, or we'd have these annual meetings there. And to that point, like my group of work best friends there still is my text group is Squad. And so we got there early and did like the Vanderpump Rules, you know, the Caesar and all that. But we would have at night, we would do like, you know, some fun activities. And I remember our last night, we got like a stretch limo, and like I love a good playlist, and so we were playing Lizzo on the plane, like with a huge thing of like 25 of us, and we're like all laughing. I'm in arms doing a somersault from the from the things, and we're like, somehow I was wearing a jumpsuit, like this black jumpsuit, and somehow I think I down the bathroom, my zipper broke in the bathroom, and so the night's got to keep going, and so I like got like some like pins, like we got pins. My CFO's helping me, female. We're like she's pinning me up. We're keeping going. It was so much.
You got to
fun.
bang it out.
No, did not have to. But I did. The problem with
you
that
on a
is
bus.
I get very unrealistic about my level of to wake up early in the morning for work trip, and so I twice on those trips missed my flights the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
The first
Well, it's Vegas.
the first time was bad enough, but I was literally going back to Australia, and that was a bigger problem. The second time when it happened, it was like Home Alone 2. Like, how the fuck they lose Kevin twice? Like, how did I miss my flight in Vegas twice? My husband was calling. They're like, your husband's on the phone. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, I see you on your Find My phone is not at the airport. You're still in your hotel.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not great when I stay out late and try to wake up an hour later. I slept right through my alarm. So
You see, you're not supposed to sleep in Vegas is a thing.
I know.
You should have stayed up and then just gone to the airport.
I get tired. But I have those like to this day, we will like,
I know.
and like dancing and all that. And it was a good time.
It stays with you,
of
right?
course, it's still, and those
like
people,
fun,
I'm still friendly with so many of those people who probably laugh at those
big
stories.
time
I probably
joy.
have some more embarrassing stories from those, but it's all right.
I love staying up late with people I like and just talking having a good time. Love. What about you, Jamie? You want me to go?
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything. I'm trying to.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Not a comment, but quick question. What one piece of advice would you give a work traveler? Just like a short and sweet piece of advice, just from your own experience.
As someone who has had to, I mean, this was for CMEs, which is continuing medical education. I've obviously been in healthcare, and nurse practitioners and above could expense trips where they were getting credit for certain conference and CEUs. And so that has to do with work travel, and the amount of people that tried to expense things. I mean, granted, this was their allotment for the year, but there's some wild shit I saw on receipts. Yeah. Some wild ass shit that you're sending to HR to get your CME allotment.
That's a fair. I think it's to get a flavor of where you're going to the extent that you're comfortable. I've been in situations as a female traveling alone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of safety considerations, and a lot of people in different populations have to talk about safety at work. So I think that's actually a really important one to be aware of. Giving people the budget, they can stay in safe hotels, also if they don't visit the ride share, like all those types of things. But to the extent that you're comfortable, just getting a quick flavor of where you are.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that. For me, if you are traveling on business, I really do feel as though you should honor and respect the site that you are traveling to, and you should clear as much as you can. Some of you know you can do it 100%. You should clear your calendar from your recurrings and what you typically do. It is so fucking rude for you to go into someone else's office probably, or the huddle space, and just continue with your fucking workday. That is so disrespectful. You just spent all of your time flying there or driving there or whatever. You should give that site, that team, those people your time. I hate that.
Yeah. And organizations need to support employees in doing that as well. Like managers need to make sure people know too, because oftentimes people don't know and they feel like they have to do their same workload. And so explaining why that's important to your team. And at nighttime, that doesn't mean you have to then do all the rest of the work. But I totally agree.
Oh my God, it's these previous bosses I've had, that's all they do. They just hole up, and colleagues too. And it's, to me, it's
or
pathetic.
You're on one-on-one, and then on the receiving end, let's say they're still having their one-on-one with you, but then they're like distracted and doing things. And so then like that recurring meeting doesn't really make that much sense either. So I agree.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's a new week. So just enjoy it, right? Be a good visitor. Respect your hosts.
Do you have anything?
Jamie, do you have anything to share?
No.
All right.
Shared enough.
She's opting out, and I think we're good. Thank you so much. I hope that, maybe we learned a little.
Yeah.
Got to rant a little. Hopefully some people were yelling at the podcast screen or whatever, like, I hate when my company does this or that as it pertains to TNL. But we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining our meeting. Hard stop.